You're just like cookie by itself.
Yeah, cookie priority. I mean, frankly, we could strap the cookie down. He's coming back home with us. Will last as long as TSA. Here on the UltraMotive channel, I'm always trying to give you guys the most diverse car content, and one of the subject matters that I rarely capture is off-road terrain vehicles, more specifically British off-road terrain vehicles, and that's why you guys joined me here in Orlando, Florida at ECD Defenders, and I'm gonna show you guys something wicked cool. On the basis, on the outside, they just look like ordinary Defenders, some old classic and some newer, but you guys do not even understand the extent of what these guys do to these cars here. I don't know if you've ever asked yourself the question on, hey, I want a classic car, but I don't want it to be unreliable. I don't want the slow old motor and just the really old build quality. I want it to feel new, but at the same time, I want it to be the same classic car that I fell in love with. And that's exactly what these guys do. Same to the likes of Singer Porsches and other just completely reconstructed and rebuilt classic cars. These guys strip these Defenders all the way down to just the pure frame and then rebuild entirely ground up, and I'm gonna show you guys the entire process on how they do that, and we're gonna get a really special tour of this whole facility. Wow. So yeah, it's a storage vehicle.
We've had all
not even a seat for it.
We've had pet grooming businesses. We've had.
So this is the starting point right here.
And then what we do with that base vehicle one is we take it into teardown. So this is teardown bay. So Dave will take the vehicle and he'll dismantle it. So if Dave thinks anything on here is salvageable, because some parts are really rare, we will take it and we will put it into inventory. But that's Dave's call, really. Anything on beyond that, he will just dispose of and we put in waste metal and get the scrap value on it. But Dave will take it down to the frame, so then we can send the fabrication team to do an audit with it.
So you really strip them down like so far that even if it's got like terrible rust quality and everything, it doesn't even matter at that point.
We'll repair it, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know to what extent these things will just get completely torn apart.
Yeah, so all the doors will come off and Dave will then give the frame to the fabrication team for an inspection and audit.
Gotcha.
The back over there is the fabrication team, so they will bring the frame back in after media blasting and look at the frame. They'll then do a repair plan, they'll take depth readings of metal and it needs to be repaired. Then they again check the quality of it and control of it, and then it goes out to get re-galvanized. These ones are re-galvanized, and then after they've been re-galvanized, then from this point on the client can choose the custom. The customization starts here.
Gotcha. So this is as stripped down as it gets. Yeah. Getting rid of all the old stuff.
This, re-galvanized it, and then at that point we say, so what do you want your truck to look like? So you could say you want this powder coating. You could say you want a powder coating in blue. You could say you want it wrapped around in half of it, or exposing the front bits in powder coat. Anything you want, you can customize from here.
Wow.
Now every bay we go to is 5 days. So Dave has 5 days to tear down. He does it in 3, and then he does some other stuff. 5 days to get it media blast in return, 5 days to repair it, 5 days to get it galvanized, 5 days to... So we're already 30 days in by the time you're at this stage.
Gotcha.
Now what happens is that frame come in here.
Oh wow.
Mike's team will then start adding again all the customized bits. So Mike, this has just got the standard brakes, no air suspension, right?
These are EDC fasteners. Yeah. It's a step up from EDC brakes.
So then I'll let Charlie tell you what he does from here. So they've rolled in the rolling frame.
When we get a roller just like that, our job here is just install what is the drivetrain in the vehicle, depending on the option that the customer chooses. Could be from the LS3 all the way to the LT4. We're gonna do radiator, engine, transmission, transfer case, the whole fuel system of the vehicle, fuel tank, fuel lines, everything. Plus, we're also gonna do the firewall. That's what he's doing there. We're supplying a sound-proof material on it, so prevent sounds to get into the cabin. Plus, heat prevention, to not transfer heat inside the vehicle. That's gonna go installed in there. We also gonna do the muffler in here, depending on what the customer chooses. dual exhaust, single, loud, not loud.
Every single muffler in every truck is one of one again.
Oh,
if
wow.
you as a customer want cutouts, we do the cutouts for you. You want to be loud, we do it. If you want to be quiet, we do it as well.
Yes.
Depending on what you want, we do it for the customer option.
So when you come in here, you can choose. It's like a candy shop. You can choose Cummins diesel engine. You can choose the original Rover V8. We'd never recommend it, but they do. You can have LC9. You can have LT1. You can have LT4. You can have LS3. You can have LS3 Plus. You can have Tesla. You're literally creating your own.
Yeah. How exactly does the engine selecting process work?
Well, we start with actually what do you want to use the truck for. So if you say, look, I just want to use it for everyday driving as a daily. Well, I would say don't take an LT4. Mm-hmm. I mean, I prefer the LC9 or I'd go LT1.
Gotcha.
Or maybe LS3. But if you said you wanted to climb mountains and you wanted to really drive it hard on the track, then I'd probably say, well, go LT4 or look at a Cummins if you only want to go up the mountain. So you're asking the question, what do you want to use it for? Once you ask the question, we'll guide you and say, well, you should choose this.
Yeah.
But if somebody ultimately says, I'm going to use it as daily, but I want an LT4, we're not going to stop them.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're just hiring us.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, people make bad decisions all the time. I mean, like the Rover V8, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's a terrible engine. We rebuild them, we do it the right way, but we still don't like them, right? we wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
if you say you want to keep it as real as you can to the vehicle.
Yeah.
That is my job to do it best possible, but you're gonna still having some limitation for it.
Yeah, of course.
Still 40 years.
So let's say you're going with like an LS3. How do you go about finding that LS3 for it?
We've got a vendor for that.
Okay.
We have a vendor in California, and Tesla doesn't come from there. Tesla's a UK, ironically. So we get our engines, drivetrains from Tesla in the UK. But all our other choices, not Rover V8, but everything in between LT1, LT4, LC9, not Cummins. All the GM stuff comes from a vendor in California we've worked with. So this is the original roof. Take it all back. And Charles is like a guy, he's like, he can restore anything. I watch him work and he's slow, but he's meticulous. This one's one ahead, so now they're blocking this for paint. Everything in has been prepped and primed. We mix everything in-house.
Oh,
if you wanted a paint colour in your jersey today, world's most expensive camera there, and we can scan that, and he can produce that paint in, how long would it take you to produce it if you took 20 minutes?
Less.
Yeah, he could have that paint on the truck. Wow. We did have a woman once, and the women designed the best cars. The best cars here have been designed by women, because they've got an eye for detail.
Yeah.
So we had a woman, and she got a dress, and she cut a dress, and she went, I wanted that colour. And then she went in the paint booth with the guys and they mixed the paint and then we painted it. And her car came out in that colour.
That's fantastic.
Pull up any of the trucks on the 3D so the client can then zoom in and you can see every detail of that car right down to the texture of the leathers and what you're going to do.
Wow.
So if you look at that, and when you see it in a computer it's even better, but even on a phone, you can see the pattern of that leather and the depth of the grain. So the one I just showed you, that's the actual dash strip.
Oh wow.
So these guys here doing the kind of heavy background duty work, and then they move it to a steamster stream in there, and we've got a load of sewing machines, and they'll just throw it and put the pattern on. What you've got right now is the final 3 stages. So you know that 15 days? That's going to be completed tomorrow. That'll be completed in 6 days. That'll be completed in 11 days. So the engine's in, bulkhead's in, and then Ruben will start to add all the main body pieces. Top first, T-post, and he can do that in like a day. They'll look like that. Without the glass.
Wow, one day.
So they're using a really old-fashioned body alignment technique, but it comes out more body aligned than it did in the factory. All of this is our electrical department. So what we do, you know that second vehicle, the 2011, we take the harness from that vehicle, we clean it up, take out all the stuff that's redundant, and then we add all the stuff that's new. But that varies depending on what you build. So if you want rare EC and you don't, we don't add that. So we build you a specific harness just for your vehicle.
Oh my god.
We're mapping out everything specific for that vehicle.
Oh, this would be the most daunting part for me. I'm completely out of wiring.
Because I would have no clue at the start.
Yeah.
He just like smashes it out like...
Oh my god.
I generally are in awe when I come in here because I couldn't do this.
Yeah, he's handling
this is a real skill.
Full wiring harness, everything.
And then all the sub harnesses are here. So this will be things like roof harness, wing harnesses, audio harnesses. But that's the main gonna power the drivetrain side. And the dash and everything else.
That's crazy.
Jonathan, what are you at, like 4 days? Yeah, 4 days. Yeah. So in 4 days he starts from scratch and sends it in. So this is the second phase. So the second phase the glass goes in and the harness is added and all pulled through.
Gotcha.
So the dash he showed you up there in that room. They'll now start to put the dash in. But what's already happened is the carpet team have been in. This will be a finished truck in 7 days.
Wow.
So when you get to this stage, they're adding the final cosmetics. This is like the Lego phase. You know what I mean? You just
yeah.
bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. So once everything reaches the final stages of assembly in there, you'll end up with something a lot like these out here. A fully complete Defender. Basically just ready for pure testing. They'll run about 3 full cycles of testing to check off all the boxes of any faults or anything that they notice. I literally came here thinking that I was just gonna see some modified, tricked out Defenders, but I had no idea the extent on which these were completely built up from ground zero. And when it's all done, I mean, it really speaks for itself seeing the complete product. We're about to go on a test drive on some of these bad boys. This thing's packing. LT4 supercharged motor, LS3 in this thing, and I'm super stoked to go rip these around. It kicks.
It's still corner like a 4x4. The fact that there's no engine.
Yeah.
So I mean, what we did to make this one fit, this has got 2 battery packs. So one where the engine was, one is in the load area.
Gotcha.
We were hoping we could put it where the fuel tank was, but we actually had to run extra radiators and cool in for the battery systems. So we had to put it inside the truck, which is fine. So this is all battery.
Wow.
And that's filled with Tesla batteries, sort of repackaged to fit the Defender and the Range Rover.
Gotcha. Oh. Yeah, this one just has so much kick at the beginning.
It's good fun. The range is close to 200 miles as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's actually pretty usable.
Yeah, this one just might be the highlight for me just because this one's the most subtle. There's a lot of cars that I drive where I forget how crazy and ostentatious they are on the outside and what you're in, because on the inside it may feel more subtle. This is the opposite, where you forget that on the outside to everyone else you're just in what looks like a typical old Range Rover, but probably give this Lexus easy run for his money right here.
I smash it.
Yeah. See ya. Everybody on board already? About to launch off. What year would you say on the exterior this would be?
This is a 95. This is the last year they made the Range Rover Classic.
Gotcha. So we're about to send this 95 into outer space. Oh! I can't imagine the look on the people's face behind us just seeing this thing just launch. That's gotta be the funniest thing. Now, I've seen some of you guys say it in the comments down below. Jack, you do need an SUV or a tow rig or just something even in the off-road world. And what they present here is quite an offer of a vehicle. However, even though the offer is like, you know, above $200,000 base starting out, to have yourself built one of these, I know it's a lot, but you're getting a lot of machine, and this is definitely not for your typical G-Wagon ownership. These are really for the true passionate car guys out there that really value Defenders and all the characteristics of them. Oh, wow. Oh my god. It smells like a brand new car in here. Did you say like 90% out of 100 that this is probably spec'd out by a female?
Probably.
Yeah,
so good.
it's got some female taste onto there. Like, nothing against dudes, but sometimes when it comes out to specking out cars, females, they got it on point. I want to thank ECD Defenders for having me come out here in Florida to check these out and get a full walkthrough of their entire process. There should be more companies like them in the automotive industry that basically create pieces like they do. Imagine for like older JDM cars, more companies that did what these guys did and completely restoring old JDM cars and modernizing them so that the classic character of them can live on into the future. That would just be great. I fully support that. Now it's time to already leave this place and go head back home to Seattle.
Look at these Defenders, they think they're in the road, don't they?
Don't fancy meeting you here.
Get out of the way!
Fucking gas, baby, that's just a little.
Hey!
What a tit. As if he stole it. Would you have that on camera?
Yeah, that's going in.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. I can't wait for Tom to see that.